welcome back Season 2 for Madden 26 in the Basement Entertainment. Um, Starting off with our Week 1 games, a lot of strong starts, a lot of not so strong starts, but everybody, somebody got to win, somebody got to lose, so let's review these games. Starting off with the Broncos-Chiefs, Bo Nix fell short in the comeback. It was a very close game up until halftime. Chiefs took a little bit of a later lead into the third and fourth quarter. Broncos ultimately could not get the onside kick to win the game, and Chiefs pull it out. Eagles user dominated, most of the run game. Iced the clip of Tootin. We got that in clips for later. Unfortunate start for the Packers. Love started with 5 interceptions to the season. But, Tampa Bay with those big 3 rookies that they have over there, we expect to see much more from them in the NFC. Potentially Super Bowl contenders for them. Then we have the Raiders and the Steelers. Steelers having Mendoza and Harbor. Mendoza, first overall pick, I think. Harbor was the first overall pick. Mendoza was the 9th or 10th pick, I believe. Solid from them, a lot of vertical, they have Mendoza, they have Harbor, they have Metcalf. A lot of 50-50 go balls from that Steelers team could be a little dangerous. Then we have our game of the week in gold here between our two of our top users. 49ers ultimately do end up coming back in the fourth quarter. We have Joe Milton making his debut for the Cowboys. Brock Purdy wearing that burgundy and gold. They pull through. Those guys have been competing for a long time. Maybe they'll see each other in the playoffs. Then we have Sellers making his debut against Seattle. Seattle does end up pulling through. Cardinals do try to get a little bit of a late comeback, but Seahawks keep pouring on for the victory. Then we have our offensive match of the week coming from the Bengals and the Bills. Bengals pulled through only by 3 points, a lot of passing going on. You also got Christian McCaffrey in that defense. Bengals fell short last year in the semis, so hopefully they look to get better this season. And we have the Giants, of course, runner-up in the Super Bowl against the Colts, projected to finish first in the AFC South. And we have Carter, 5 sacks on the big day. A big problem, making his debut, Drew Aller for the Colts, not as mobile as Anthony Richardson was. But Anthony Richardson ultimately got traded for draft capital, so, maybe get some tackles to help him out a little bit more so he doesn't get too increased by sack, or too dominated by the sack game. Then we have the Commanders, 28-10 over the Rams. 18 points in about 3 possessions. They dominated in the run game. I think they had a 60-yard run with their running back. A lot of short passing game from Jaden Daniels, also with the threat of the scramble. Hitman over there rocking. Keep it up. Then we have 13-7 Patriots. They do fall to the Titans. This was a very close game, though. I think it went down to the wire. Patriots had the ball to end the game. I think they just couldn't get it. And then we have the Falcons winning against the Panthers. The big story of that game is Bryce Young's 6 picks. So it's only up from there, One of the stronger users in the division, Roofway, Hopefully it's better for him. And then we have one of the big stories of the week. Eagles end up dropping Baker Mayfield, and who picks him up? The New York Jets. They finished 10-7 last season. They look to finish better this season. Baker Mayfield poured it on, 24 points, providing his team for the win, no turnovers. Hopefully new team, same Baker. So keep it up. Moving on into our latest slates of games, we have the Dolphins and the Vikings. The Vikings take the win 38-24. Tua did throw a pick and he was sacked 3 times compared to J.J. McCarthy, who wasn't touched at all. Just came down to whose defense was better in that game. 2-1 turnover, kind of let the Vikings in there to seal the deal. Then we have something that the bettors in the community didn't think, which was the Bears-Lions this week. From a team that went to the playoffs, went to the quarters from the Bears. The Lions still do handle them, Started off very close, but the Lions ultimately pulled through in the end. A couple picks by Caleb Williams. Not converting it on 4th down, but the Bears user, he's proved it time and time again. He can be top users, so they'll come back strong in week 2. Then we have 1648 Jaguars. Luka made his debut today, aka Mateer. Also with Makai Lemon and Dope, who both individually had a touchdown. I think Mateer ran for about 100 plus yards. Lamar does end up getting injured in this game around the 3rd quarter, but I don't think it's any sustaining injury. It's just he was out for the game, and Cooper Rush came in, delivered 2 touchdowns for him. But ultimately, the Jaguars' offense poured on a bit too much for them, and they couldn't pull it out. Then we have the Saints beating the Browns. Browns, had a lot of talent. I think they had 3 or 4 first-round picks coming into this season. So hopefully they can improve their rookies and better them for the future. I just have some clips here. Chiefs ended up icing the game against the Broncos. Just remember, if you guys want to send me your clips so I can post them in like my weekly review. We have a big stop here coming in from the Commanders on Puka Nacua. This could have really changed the game. Unfortunately, went right for the Commanders user. And we have a big run here by the Commanders. Hughes, about a 70-yard run from Hughes. This really iced the game for the Commanders. Love to see a bit more from them in the run game this season. We have the first touchdown of the year coming from Lenore Sellers. And we have Milroe here, right up the middle of the seam, solid blitz. Beautiful play by him. First touchdown of the season for the Seahawks. And here we have Mateer rolling back in the pocket, rookie-to-rookie dub connection. That will be the first touchdown of the season for them. But with the good does come the bad. Mateer was a very, very, I believe, 3rd-round pick coming from the Jaguars. But, he is a rookie, so you see here these 2 plays. Had him two wide open touchdowns. He missed them both. Hopefully that doesn't come to affect the Jaguars too much this season. But you would love to see him improve a little bit more on these deep balls as he overthrew Makai Lemon twice on these routes. And then here we have a newly implemented offense coming from the Jags user. Running a lot of rushes this year with Mateer, using his Baker Mayfield first touchdown in the Jets uniform, looking green, looking clean. We have Caleb Williams here with the toss to Swift. This would end up being the first touchdown of the season for the Chicago Bears. And coming in here, we have C.J. Stroud dropping back in the pocket, delivering a dime to Sam Laporta that would go on to ice the game for the Detroit Lions. Then here we have a little bit of early season woes coming in from Caleb Williams. Tries to get a cutback curl on the tight end. Unfortunately, Brian Branch does intercept. Once again, thank you guys for watching. Let's get on to week 2. Have a good week 2. I'll get the video posted for that after the sim as well. And these is just a little bit of reminder about what the scores were in the week run review. Of course, coming up next week, if y'all haven't seen, we have the Jets versus the Colts. Should be a classic. Let's look forward to it. And following that, we have back-to-back Giants, and we have the Super Bowl rematch in week 4, and we have the NFC Championship rematch in week 3. So, thank you guys. Have a good one.